Due to the nature of this program, listener aggression is advised.
This is Chris Broderick with the Fever 333.
Pusillus Maximus from Guard.
This is Eric from Necrogoblicon.
Hey, this is Jamie from Bullet My Valentine.
Hey, you got Dimebag's Hack.
I do a million interviews, and you guys know how to have fun.
What's up? This is Sam Rivers.
And this is Damon from Sleep Killers.
What's up, guys? It's Dorothy.
Hi, I'm Todd. And I'm Frank from Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators.
This is Stephen Brewer from Westfield Massacre.
This is Joe from Dead.
This is Tommy Vex from The Bad Wolves.
This is Ivan from Disconnected. And right now, you're listening to Honest Motherfucker.
Hey, this is Marzi Montazeri of Heavy as Texas, and you're listening to Honest Brutality.
Hey everybody, welcome to Honest Brutality. This is the show that is all things rock, metal, and stuff that doesn't suck. I'm your host, Evil, and I am joined by my co-host.
This is Big Sloppy. How do
indeed, my friend. We have a special guest on the line today.
Yeah, we got Marzi from Heavy as Texas, amongst others, but we're here to talk about Heavy as Texas today. How you doing, Marzi?
How do, fellas?
That was a Southern Texas howdy right there.
I know I messed it up. Howdy. How you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Doing good, man.
Hey, speaking of Texas, you know, you're calling your band Heavy as Texas, and I've been pondering this all week because your video came out last week, To Keep a Promise, and I was thinking about it. Texas is the only state that has bands banter their name with the name Texas in it. You got Sons of Texas, you got Texas Hippie Coalition, Heavy as Texas. You don't see that in Wisconsin. I don't see a band called Heavy as Wisconsin or Heavy as Rhode Island. You know, you only see it in Texas. There's a swagger there, right?
Yeah, there is. And I want to tell you that I named my band Heavy as Texas prior to those other two bands existing. You know, we've been around for a long time. And I guess it is, I don't know. I don't, besides the other two bands that I've heard of and don't care for them, I didn't hear. I guess it is funny. Heavy as Wisconsin. it is. I guess it's a big state and stuff like that. And over here, you know, you do something and other people pick up on it. I know that the hippie band has gone to do some things and stuff like that. But again, they formed after I had my band form, and like all of a sudden there was like two other bands with the name of Texas. It's like I don't own the right to the state name,
right?
And I happened to come up with the name when I was in a 3-piece called Marzi, and I was entering the studio in about 2000 to do like a demo after I was in Superjoint, and I had lyrics and words and titles for every song except this one song. It's this really, really, really bluesy, groovy song. I didn't have a title for it, but when I was writing the chorus, I wrote down, when you're low and you need it slow, just to remember, we are as heavy as Texas. And then it just stuck with me when it came time for, I mean, you know, sometimes you just get a feeling from certain things, group boards or whatever, group together. It struck a chord with me. And then, again, years later, right prior to Kyle Thomas joining the band, I changed the name of the band to Heavy as Texas. Because I didn't want to be in a band called Marzi. It's just so weird to me, man. For me, it was weird. It wasn't initially even my idea. It was a basis that I had. Said, your name's neat. Let's just go with your name. Yeah. And I didn't want to think too much about it. I was like, all right, let's just do that, man. Then it became maybe I thought too much about it. You know, maybe it was just growing up and not wanting to be the guy, wanting to be just one of the guys in a band. I really wanted to be in like a unity, a formation where, you know, a band of brothers where I have a band. So even though it's my thing, I still wanted to give it the vibe. And so now we're in a band and it's not my thing anymore. With Kyle Thomas entering the picture, it is definitely not my thing anymore. It's our thing. He has made it entirely something else. He has exceeded all my musical expectations of him. And he's made my musical, dreams or vision absolutely come to fruition, come to life.
Well,
I can't thank the dude enough.
You can't hate too much on using that. It worked pretty good for Van Halen and Bon Jovi. You know, those they stuck pretty good.
Yeah, and that's why I don't get the Van Halen argument. Well, everything's a freaking argument, man, these days. Man.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You tell somebody a compliment, they'll get pissed off these days. So it's like I was saying, having breakfast, going, man, these eggs are great. Oh yeah. Greater than what? It's like, oh, man. Please take a compliment and shut the shit up. But you're very right. The Van Halen argument is just like, you're so very right. Like, you understand, like, I was an immigrant kid that didn't speak English. So when things resonate to a kid that age, they're just pure, man. You ain't questioning why David Lee Roth sounds cool to you, even though he's a direct ripoff of Jim Dandy, and I know this for a straight fact. It doesn't change the fact that his tonality, his voice, the way he screamed, the way he said that I stood and looked down, lost a lot of friends in the breakdown of and talk about like, those things are cool, man. You know, the fact that they laugh in the middle of Bottoms Up in the chorus and they kept it.
Right.
These things are just, man, this is the type of magic, you know, that, and everything that Edward Van Halen did, everything in the Van Halen years, not to diminish any, you know, Sammy Hagar years. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what he's done since. Like, I don't know anything with Gary Sharon. I don't know. It's weird. I would have never thought that maybe, you know, I would have never thought a day that my guitar hero, you know, main influence would put out a record where I wouldn't be even like, you know, I really did it because I didn't want to like turn on him.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, you know, I feel this way about him, and this is what he is for me, and this is what he stands for. And so when he shifts gears and does this stuff, I'll just give him love. But man, I'm not about to go see that show. And I did see him once with Sammy Hagar, where he had a really, really bad show, and I almost was in tears, man, when I went home out of sadness because of the state there that he was in. It was terrible. But all that's gone, man. All that's gone. If you allow the water to come over and wash you, man, you can start off all fresh. I mean, we wake up every morning, you know. Our eyes open, our ears, like, you know, you guys, me this morning.
Right.
It's like this energy that's inside of us. You can say you woke up, and I can say I did, but man, we both know that we're in this like rental home. You know, our bodies are like a rental space. You know,
I got you. Yeah.
And you know, if you had folks, friends that pass, and you live a while, you know this is temporary.
Yeah.
So while this is going on, you know, give it all you got, man.
Yeah.
Function with the heart.
I dig it. So you talked about your influences a little bit, and I noticed that you do some of the Randy Rhoads tribute stuff at NAMM.
Yes.
Okay. Now I got to tell you, just to preface this, I'm a huge Randy Rhoads fan. I think Evil here gets sick of me telling people. I just love Randy Rhoads. It was my first concert. I saw Ozzy on the Diary tour with Randy. You know, just about 3 months before he passed, and it was a huge Oh, dude, that was my first concert. I'm 14 in San Francisco watching Randy Rhoads, my idol, on stage and getting to see that. And then I see guys like you, who by the way, your skills are phenomenal, and you know that. You don't need me to tell you that. But anyway, I see you doing these tribute shows and whatnot for Randy at NAMM, and I want to witness that firsthand. I think it's badass. How did you get into that, the Randy Rhoads thing?
Man, I got into it simply because someone had a fan friend, had suggested to David Tichy, Brian Tichy, who puts this show on with his business partner with the blessing of the Rhoads family. He mentioned him to me, and and then Brian wrote me an email, and this was about I want to say 5 or 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many consecutive ones I've done. I want to say I've done 5 consecutive years.
Right.
Since the beginning, since I started, I possibly have done 6. I'm not sure, but he called. He said he set it up. Man, I at the time, you know, I was able to go there a day early, rehearse with the guys. I had met Michael. Seen Michael Devin and Steven, the keyboardist. I had seen them play with John Bonham in Houston. Okay. So when I was taking a break, going to smoke outside, these two partook with me smoking. So we had a little smoke session, And we started talking. He's like, yeah, we used to play with Jason Bonham. And I started looking at their faces, and I remember going, and literally, of all Led Zeppelin things that are out there, when I saw the Jason Bonham Led Zeppelin experience, I was floored, man. I was literally floored because Jason did not fuck around with it. It literally sounded like Led Zeppelin in every way possible. And it was amazing. It wasn't like it was amazing. It was truly amazing. So anyway,
hey, was it amazing?
I was, yeah. So, and get this. So once I figured out who I was talking to and smoking with, I started blowing them up. I was like, I love you guys, man. I kept telling them the same thing. You guys were amazing, and I saw the show because it was. Look, this is what happened. I got a call one day, and somebody goes from a venue, Revention Center in Houston, and the guy said, "Hey, Marzi, are you free Tuesday?" And I was like, yeah, sure, what's up? He goes, you want to go see Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin experience? And I was like, absolutely. So my girlfriend at the time was like a huge Zeppelin fan, right? And I said, hey, we're going to go out. I did not tell her. I didn't tell her. I didn't let her look at the ticket stub. So we went and sat down. We actually sat down like third row, and she had no clue what was about to happen.
Oh, God.
And, man, we had a great time. I mean, the rubber plant, the two guitar players, one being Jimmy Page and the other one doing the studio work, where they were able to play stuff that literally sounded like the record was being played. You know, all that and extra musicians, they had Steven there playing acoustic and keyboards and all this stuff, man. It sounded amazing. So, that was really killer. I talked to them about it. Then that was my first year. We did Randy Rhoads. I did Mr. Crowley that year.
Oh, okay.
And so it was absolutely, it was hilarious because I walk up, and it's classic, dude. I walk up, I got my guitar case, and the green room is upstairs.
Okay.
I walk up and I trip on the last step. And I just make this entrance. Like I trip on the last step and like, hello, come fumbling in with my guitar case. And there's Michelangelo, like Doug Aldrich, like all these dudes with their guitar strap looking at me like, who the fuck is this? It was hilarious. But Phil X from Bon Jovi,
yeah,
he like gravitated towards me like immediately. I took my guitar out and he's like, what is that? I said, it's a signature guitar by Washburn. He's like, man, I got my signature guitar by Framus. He busted out his little SG. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I saw you here last night doing the Zeppelin thing. And Phil had, he's a guitar player for Bon Jovi. He's pipes guy, man, he's got pipes. And the night before he had done Black Dog.
Okay.
And he sang and played it. And, and just the begining of that. And not too many people can just nail Robert Plant right off the bat.
Right.
He nailed it. And I was like, I gave him props about the day before. I didn't know he was how good of a guitar player he was at the time. But I was just like, man, I love this dude. He was so cool. I hit it off. With a lot of people. Dicks I don't get along with, and they don't get along with me, and for good reason.
Right.
And that reason is because they're dicks. I get along with anybody, man.
Yeah.
I get along. I love to interact. I love to meet new people. I love to kill the ego and share love and share experiences and ultimately learn and give love as much as I can and just leave an experience and being a better person, better soul for it. Long story short, I was in a bathroom and, again, I was a newcomer. So I hear my name. What's up, Marzi? Marzi here? Who's it, Marzi? All this stuff. I'm like, I'm taking a piss. They're like, you're next. I'm like, oh, shit. So I run down and in the midst of all this, while I was like, now, I'm not the dude that grew up actually learning songs. I never had guitar lessons and I never had friends that show me songs. And I didn't have, I wouldn't sit down really with I would noodle. I get bored. So I just get, instead of figuring something out, I end up figuring something out that wasn't exactly the same, but for myself, like my own interpretation of it. So while on YouTube watching Randy and Ozzy and Rudy Sarz and Tommy Aldridge and then playing that, and just like they got 3 or 4 songs. I think it's Crowley, I Don't Know, Crazy Train. They were in the studio one time recording all this stuff, like playing it and recording it.
Right.
So I was watching that footage, trying to watch Randy's fingers, trying to figure out exactly what he did, like where he was when he was making the runs and stuff like that. And I would see Rudy Sarzo. My son walked by one time, and I said, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, practicing for this. And I'm like, check this out. You know, there's Randy right there. And I said, I may get to play with this guy, pointing at Randy. You know, I may get to play with him. I may not. You know, I don't know. I just grew up watching Rudy Sarzo and, you know, knowing who Rudy Sarzo is.
Yeah.
And watching Quiet Riot. And as he said, he's a big deal to me, you know?
Yeah.
He's a part of my childhood. And lo and behold, we get there, and rehearsal, Michael Devin, who plays bass now in Whitesnake, played bass and did the vocals. He was just going to do the vocals live, so we didn't know who was going to play bass. They said maybe Rudy. So I'm taking a piss. I run downstairs. They put a guitar on me. It's packed. I come out at the guitar end. Everybody's already on stage. I literally was like the last dude to get on stage. I get in, I plug in, I look over, and they introduce me, and I look over, and Rudy's over on the other side. I'm like, oh, yeah. So we start playing, and I let it, like, you know, I let the spirit take over me, man, because I really don't know how to talk or question about things like that. I just let it happen, and when it's finished, you know, on the video, if you ever go look back at it, you see Michael Devin coming up to me and giving me a handshake, and I said, man. And I think I fucked with him with something. I said, damn, you good looking guy. And then I said, thanks. Then right then, you see Rudy walking up to me. Mm-hmm. And he goes, good job. And I shook his hand, and I just looked at him and said, I love you, man. And then you see him in the video, he goes, come here. And he pulls me in and gives me a hug. And that meant a lot to me, man. That meant a lot to me. He said, great job. I said, I love you, man. He pulled me in. He said, come here, give me a hug. After that, you see the keyboard player coming up, giving me a handshake. I felt like a little kid, man. I could not freaking believe this. I could not believe this. I was so elated and so happy. I don't feel that way, like before the task, before shows, before anything. I don't feel that way. I always know there's a job in hand. Like, you know, as an athlete that has to go and play, you know, football games, soccer game, basketball. If you win the Super Bowl, you still got next season. So for me, it's always like it never ends, man. The thrill of it. But, you know, it's temporarily party time. So I was supposed to go back and play D alongside, you know, Mark Zavon and all the other guitar players and the Kill Devil Hill Mark. So I proceeded to just go outside. I start drinking. I start slamming tequila and losing track of time. I just thought it was funny shit. And Michelangelo was at the outside bar, and they're outside with a guitar around and trying to order a drink. I thought it was funny. So I went over there and started fucking with him. And we started getting almost like a kind of debate by him saying, like, nobody can play things note for note. And the only person who can play note for note Randy stuff is Randy. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, it's not true what he said. I was like, well, I'll beg to differ. And he's like, well, what? And I was like, well, it started with me saying, what song are you doing? And he said, Goodbye to Romance. And I said, wow, man. And I just asked the question. I was like, you playing a note for note? Asking Michelangelo if he's going to play something note for note. It's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, but I was going, and he says, but he wants to like kind of challenge me and say nobody can play it except Randy. Wherein I replied, I beg to differ, because growing up, I had a friend in Texas from Fort Worth that would play a guitar solo. And in the middle of his guitar solo, he'd get on the mic and he goes, I want to dedicate this to my hero up in the heavens and roots. And he said it like that.
Right.
And he would proceed to play a 5 or 6, I don't know, a little collage of Randy Rhoads solos. And I'm going to tell you, brother, if you closed your eyes, you really thought somebody was playing the record. Because I'm talking about, like, their sound guy would put like the right reverb where it sounded like the reverb on the record. Man, I was dumbfounded. Like dumbfounded. So I came back to Houston and had a Randy Rhoads fan. And I came back and his name was Kyle Foster. And I said, Kyle? Yeah, you know, Randy was his favorite guitar player. I said, man, I saw a guy, dude, you need to see. He nails Randy Rhoads note for note. He goes, who? I said, his name is Daryl Abbott. He plays in Pantera. And he goes, cool, man. Let's go check him out. You know, they weren't very popular.
Right.
So, that was a friendship that I actually started between Kyle and Daryl prior to meeting Daryl. I met Daryl the first gig they ever played with Phil. That's weird, man. I never knew it. Yeah. I was just I happened to be in Shreveport and playing a different venue than they were playing, different club actually. And it was off night for us, so I went to see Pantera. I took the band van by myself. Like, I just wanted to go out to a club, and I went, and man, I got to see them play. And it was awesome. It was fucking awesome. I'll never forget Daryl.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
I'll never forget him. But in Houston, we met, and we immediately, man, hit it off. We became like best fucking friends, man.
Wow.
So it was like, and what made it cooler was I saw him play, and then he watched me play prior to us being friends. So we saw each other play and had admiration. And then when we met each other, I was like, okay, this dude is cool as shit. Because most guys back in the day was like Yngwie Malmsteen's band if they were good. They were letting you know their egos were just like, man, tense, man. Right. Really tense. Like, wait, I'm too good for you. It's like, why though, bro?
Are you saying that Yngwie has a little bit of an attitude?
You know the LSD bus they always talk about, the lead singer disease?
Yeah.
The day that Kyle Thomas missed that bus, Yngwie jumped on it. And I mean to tell you that, man. I've never met a singer as humble and down to earth with like 1,000% integrity work level and zero freaking ego, man. Zero. Like in the middle of a show, he'll take his shirt off and come give it to you. It's Kyle Thomas.
Wow.
And poor Yngwie, man. He's such a talented, incredible guitar player. But I don't want to trade shoes with him for a minute, man.
Dude,
I'll
joke.
pray for someone like that.
I'll tell you what.
But anyways,
I got to see him back in the 80s. It was a day on the green in Oakland, California. And he left the stage. Oh, dude. He left the stage 4 different times in a fit, left his band out on the stage. And I'll never forget the poor lead singer out there. I don't even know who it was at the time. He just kept coming back. Well, it's a hot day for some hot rock and roll. That's all he kept saying. It's a hot day for some hot rock and roll. As soon as Yngwie gets back out here, we'll fucking play some songs, man. I'll never forget that as long as I live, man. I'll never forget it.
I know. When you think of yourself and yourself only, and you only care about that, sometimes, and I've seen it happen with him, we're doing the cruise that I was on.
Right.
I forget what it was called. The Axes and Anchors. It had Zach Wild, it had Yngwie, a lot of great guitar players. My personal favorite, Marty Friedman, was on there. And it's just like, oh yeah, lesson session. It's like, how good can you get, man? And his whole entire band. If you've never seen Marty's band, oh my God.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Fun, entertaining, amazing, and dude, each one of them are absolutely great people. Great talented people. Love. So yeah, I was on the boat with him, and prior to it, he had a private party. I guess it was his wife was doing some kind of fundraiser. Yngwie's got a very, very nice wife. Her name's April, and she was doing a fundraiser for some kind of something. And Yngwie was on stage. He had brought Steve Vai out, and Nico McBrain was playing drums.
Oh, wow.
Nico was on a drum set that was sitting in a corner of a concrete stage with no platform. Like, there wasn't on a riser.
Right.
And you couldn't hear him play drums.
Ah.
You couldn't hear a cymbal. You couldn't hear him play drums. All you could hear was Yngwie just like doing his little antics. And at that point, man, it's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Steve Vai's doing all his moves and his this and that, and he just like looks cool. You couldn't hear anybody. It was a disaster, man. I think if you care about the ultimate thing, people like Roger Waters, for instance, man, you're never going to go see Roger Waters and you go, man, show sounded like shit. You're never going to get those kind of things.
Right.
I mean, some people care above everything else. And I think it starts by killing your ego and serving the art, the music. You become a slave to it. and then you put yourself in the background. It doesn't become a me thing.
Right.
You just become like water, like Bruce Lee said, "Be water, my friend." Sorry about that. You just become a part of something, and there's nothing wrong with it, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
To think that we are not part of one ginormous thing, and that we're like some gift to the planet, while looking around and seeing other humans, it's kind of egotistical. It's kind of weak to me. It's kind of weak to uphold some kind of standard for yourself, to think that you are better, a better race, or better anything, dude.
Absolutely.
Anything better.
Yeah.
We're all the same, man.
Right.
We're all the same. I was telling my sister yesterday, we were talking about races and this and that and that. I was like, yeah, this is shitty people. There's shitty people on earth. There's good people and there's shitty people. If I were to sit here and just talk about one race of people and saying they're shitty because one person did something, that's just wrong, man.
Right.
That is wrong. That is wrong. Me personally, I love everyone and every culture. At the same time, I know they're got shitty people. But dude, I mean, how can you hate on anybody? Do you like food? Like I always say, man, you tried these cuisine? How can you hate on anybody if you're munching on their food? There's beautiful art, beautiful cuisine. Anthony Bourdain really did a good job at it, man.
Yeah.
He really broke down the barriers of religion and politics, which just basically spread fear amongst our societies for other people's financial benefits. He broke all that down and was like, taste this. It's pretty delicious, huh?
You're right. He did, yeah.
I do the same. I kind of take the same approach, not because of him, but when I tour, and then when I do the guitar clinics. When I do the guitar clinics, I'm by myself, and I have like one assistant from Randall or Washburn just travel with me. It's pretty cool because I get the job done, So when the task is done, see, I don't think anything about anything. Girls, drugs, the beach, things that I like soccer or basketball or, sports or anything. I don't think about anything. I think about the job and the task at hand. When that is done, yeah, man, let's go eat your local food. And when they give me the menu, my favorite thing to do is give the menu back. I'm like, you're from here. This is what I like. You order for me. And I'm always surprised with something amazingly good. And when it comes to beer, I like lighter beer, and dude, it's a wonderful experience to try local beer from different countries and different places. It's awesome. So that always makes it a fun experience, between a little chip and chatter between the locals that are there. Right. And I'm always learning something.
Marzi is a foodie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a beer. Cool. I have a saying for beer. My favorite beer in the world is free. And my second favorite beer is cold. So
we're in the same club.
Yeah, right. I'll take it every time. Well, let's talk Heaviest Texas a little bit. The new album coming out here pretty shortly in April. I think the 19th. Am I right on that?
That's right.
The 19th. You're very correct.
Yeah. Well, you dropped the video.
Crunchy Western Records. Yes.
Okay, Crunchy Western Records. That's by the way, great name for a record.
Is that your label, Marzi?
That's a label, yes. It's a label that me and my business partner in Houston created in 2017. And the premise of it was to just get my music out there.
Okay.
That's why we did it.
Yeah.
It was just to do that. And then if we got to a position where we could help others, we would do that. And we're approaching that. But our goal was to have the Uprising, which was the EP that I did with Whipper Owens, as a sort of a appetizer to the public, saying, hey, we exist and this is the music. And obviously I'm the producer, so this is what our records sound like, kind of like this is our stamp. And then I did Heaviest Texas, which is our main course.
Right.
So we're focusing on this and putting all, the teams that we have, we need to put a publicity team together, a management, people to do the web design, the social media and whatnot. Not that I'm not a part of all of it, but I had to put a team together and, get this vision met, see it, come to life,
Right. To keep a promise. You guys dropped that video here recently, and that was my first taste. And I saw that and I said, holy shit.
Yeah, that caught us off guard. Yeah, it really did.
It was so fucking good.
Yeah.
And so I immediately went right on the socials. Check this out. You gotta check this stuff out. It's fucking awesome. And I've been wrapped up in it ever since. And then I did get a copy of the album here in advance. I'm rubbing it into the people listening right now. Anyway, it is strong, bro.
It is very good.
You've got some stuff on here. What I like about it is you got a lot of original guitar work on there that you're not just playing, average, simple stuff. You're playing some guitar-oriented, in-your-face, just metal. And I fucking love it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It wasn't a lot of love and a lot of heart into it. And one thing I wanted to make sure was that the album contains songs where each one of them stood on its own, had some sort of magic, like some sort of musical magic be given to it by me, Kyle, or drum, something special. If not one time happens, a few instances in a song. I wanted every song to be special, and not to sound like. But none of the songs sound like. It sounds like the same band playing it, but we're not repeating or borrowing anything from one song to another.
Yeah,
they're entirely different. And we're taking the approach that we, I guess, kind of grew up on, like in the music in the '70s, where people were songwriting. And we weren't going after a particular, let's say, style. Because when you listen to this, you can tell I ain't trying to be black metal, death metal, heavy metal. And this is straight up to me, my own version of like songs that there's things that I listened to growing up in the 70s and 80s, which were like bands like Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Van Halen, Pink Floyd. And then later on, as far as I say as far, which means probably no more influences after Alice in Chains, because they're such a great American rock band, man, and their mark is undeniable. And both Kyle and I love them. Without that, I did all this stuff in Houston and sent it to Kyle. And when he finished, and I sat back and listened to it when I was, doing the preliminary mixes, I kind of, I was moved by it, man. I believed in it and worked as hard as I did on it because it was the hardest thing I'd ever done, the work level. But Kyle really took it to the next level. And it wouldn't be what it is if it weren't for Kyle Thomas. So I really, really, really blessed, man, and enjoy his company on this one. I look forward to the second one, but we got plenty of work to do on this one. We just, you saw To Keep a Promise, and then you got the album. So I think, that the rest of it doesn't sound like To Keep a Promise. It's that they're different.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, man. You put the album on, and it kind of comes out swinging, and it hits you across the head, and then you slide into some stuff that, like you said, it's not what I expected, but I loved it. There's actually even some funky soul type. King of Fools is a really cool song, man.
Thank you. King of Fools is going to, the Mark Borchardt. Again, I was lucky enough to get him on board, to get him to the video for To Keep a Promise. So I was like, Mark, why don't you come back to Houston and shoot second and third? Because we had, To Keep a Promise is our second one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's our second single putting on, so I'm leaking it out to you now. But we're shooting a video for it. It's not things are not that big of a secret. We're shooting a video for it the 6th and the 7th in Houston, and the 8th and the 9th we're shooting a video for Love Gets Us All, believe it or not.
Oh,
that's
really?
Our third. Yeah, that's going to be our third. That's an epic video where it shows it's like a storytelling video. He's got this whole idea, and then I just did a lyric video to put out and let the people just continue to hear our music while we're working on the King of Fools video. And the lyric video is going to be for a song called Blind.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that song because
features strings, 3 songs on the album feature strings that are kind of like, it makes it different and special for me because it's guitar, bass, drums, and vocals. That's that's rock and roll to me.
Right.
Then you add in extra to it, it's easy these days. You get a keyboard, you put symphony and you go put your fingers down and then you got a symphony in there. I don't play that game. I got two, I have friends here, two in particular. Her name was Jo Bird. She plays violin in a band called Jo Bird. She's Fiddle Witch and the Demons of Doom.
Oh, I'm checking that shit out today.
That sounds awesome.
I am totally checking that out today.
Oh yeah, it's her, a bass player and a drummer, and she plays these heavy riffs on the violin, and it's bass player and a drummer. Just so imagine, and she's so killer. I mean, just the sweetest person. I don't know how to explain her really. She's got like an infectious personality. She comes around, and she's kind of quiet and quirky and really funny, and just like fucking awesome person to be around with, and focuses in, man, and wants to do like a great job. So as a producer, I'm sitting back going, man, I'm lucky to be a part of this.
Right.
And Chris Bakos was her friend. He came and played like the cello bass, and Blind from this day on. And Love Gets Us all three have strings in it.
Right.
And that made me, happy and proud. I put acoustic guitars in one song, Love Gets Us All.
Yeah. I
caked that song, really. I've done things that I hadn't done before. So I always wanted to, but I never got to do it. So that's this album. I did a lyric video too for, I know we're talking about the album. I did a lyric video for To Keep a Promise last week also.
Oh,
so that's basically, it's been my week, man. I've been so, I know it's got nothing to do with the album, but just like I had to do a lyric video. I'm for Blind, or I have it, go to the guy that was going to make it, but he made me a playthrough video for To Keep a Promise. Guitar playthrough video.
Right.
I finished it, I believe, Tuesday night. Wednesday, I went right into the studio, and Michael Sweet's got a solo record coming out.
Yeah.
Michael, and he's got Andy James, Jeff Loomis, Tracy Guns, and he's got like ridiculous guitar players on there. And he asked me to be on it, so I was just like more nervous than anything else, man.
Oh,
yeah.
Does he make you pray before you do the songs, or how's that work?
Dude, I pray constantly. Trust me. Yeah, I had to pray. I was like, just like, show me a way. Because look, walking in and not being like some kind of trained, unorthodox, self-taught guitar player, that I am. I'm not claiming that or bragging about it. I'm just saying that just so happened to be the way I was brought up. I was poor, brought up in a different country than I was born in, with no parents and no guidance and no money. And all I wanted to do was play guitar. So, man, now being older, I wish I had training, man. I wish I knew what scales and chords and stuff like that was growing up so I could do it. I had to fish for it, and I still fish for it. And my nerve system hasn't learned how to calm itself down. I'll become a wreck, man, because, this stuff's going on record, and it's final.
Right.
In the Heaviest Texas, I had triple tracked my leads. So you can just imagine how much time that took on top of creating it. For Michael Sweet, I had 0 time. And I was like, you know what, bro, I'm not triple tracking anything for you, but I will give you a lead. But so he sends me a song that's 3.5 minute song at If, and he's got 6 notes on it. 6 notes, well, maybe 5. Maybe I'm exaggerating by 1. 5 notes on it. It's like you play from here to here, from here to here. I'm like, dude, 3.5 minute song. I'm playing on 2 minutes of it. So it's like there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like you don't want to, you want to do the right thing.
Right.
So I stepped up. I did that Wednesday, and
you're in demand, brother.
I went to sleep not even knowing what I'd done, and Thursday morning, I got a text message from Michael praising it. So I was cool. It goes by so fast. I knew that I liked it, and I was like, I signed off on it. I was like, send this. Our time had run out, and I was hoping that he liked it. He sent me back a message saying he really liked it, and he thanked me for it. And I was like, thank God. Now I can go in and take a shower get in my car and drive to New Orleans for 6 hours.
Right.
And that's what I did Thursday night. And I walked in Thursday, and we got 9 songs in the new Exhorder record.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing on leads and stuff on 8 of them.
Wow.
Again, like the Michael Sweet thing, I had to walk in. I had no time to prep for it. Like I would when you play it at home and you just keep playing it. You keep playing it. You know, it's almost like if anybody was around me, I always tell people, I said you would go away crazy because you wouldn't understand the repetition of the things that I do. It's almost like it's a crazy person thing. Like why are you doing this so many times? Because you never know, man. It's like fishing. It's like staying out there till like the sun's about to just go down and catch that fish. That's me. All day long, I make that effort to try to catch that fish.
Right.
So I came here Thursday night. Last night at midnight, I left the studio, and I finished 6 out of 8.
Wow.
There's a smile on Vinny LaBella's face that I put on because his tension, his level is like raised to astronomical heights, and he's my brother, and I can't have him be there. I called him on the phone. I said, for this age that you're in, and this day and age that we're in, you know, making a comeback record with Exhorder, you're doing a good job. I just wanted to give him some positive reinforcements. I know what he's been going through, and I also told him, I'm coming. I'm coming to relieve you of this.
Right.
He's like, I've been on the road with you for a year. I don't know how to work with you in the studio, you know. So it didn't, you know. He's never worked with me in the studio. He didn't know what to expect.
Right.
He gave me 4 days to knock out 8 songs, which is not a realistic goal.
You're no quitter.
And I'll be honest with you. Thursday night when we went in, all we did was get tones. That was it.
Right.
So Thursday night I got in late. We got tones. So yesterday at 3:30 we entered the studio. I got a salad next door, ate it, smoked one. We went to work. At midnight I was done. I came out. Man, he gave me so many kisses. I think he's my new girlfriend now. It was really, seriously, I love him. I love this man a lot, man. And to see that I had relieved a little bit of tension from him. And again, it's not like I had anything planned. It's like I really feel grateful and thankful to the universe for opening up an opportunity for me to like play as good as I did yesterday, because this is a Exhorder record.
Right.
I'm not going to be in 2 bands and favor one over the other. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Exhorder is Vinny and Kyle's baby. I know that. I'm a part of that band now.
Right.
And I love this band, and I treat it that way.
That's cool.
Heaviest Texas is clearly my baby, and I brought in Kyle. That's become our baby. But, you know, the integrity we put into it, man, I don't diminish one from the other at all. I don't have that mentality like thinking that, like, you know,
I get that vibe from you, bro. It sounds to me you're passionate about whichever you're involved in.
Well,
that's pretty cool.
They call it a work ethic.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Hey, you mentioned Alice in Chains, man.
You do.
Yeah, absolutely you do. But you mentioned Alice in Chains and the song Blind, because I was listening to Blind. I said, the vocals on that, very reminiscent of something Alice in Chains would do.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that Kyle has done with his harmonies that are you know, reminiscent of it. It's still, you know, we're not, you know, not to a point where you can say, they're copying them. But It's good to be influenced and take it in a way where, you know, you can almost pay homage to it.
Right.
It's like they weren't the first band to do harmonies, but God, they were the first band to do harmonies the way they did.
Right.
So dark and just beautiful. I can't, you know, I love that band. I love the new bands.
Yeah.
You know,
the other song I wanted to talk to you about was Reality Check. Because the way that song opens up with the vocals, they're just this. I don't even know how to describe it. The way it comes across, it scared me a little bit.
so Reality Check and To Keep a Promise and Blind were all previous songs. Well, I've written. I used to play and write the songs and like as in a 3-piece all by myself. Reality Check and To Keep a Promise, Kyle kept my vocals exactly the same.
Huh.
Same phrasing, same lyrics, same everything. He didn't change any of it. He added like 2 parts that were empty to it, so we share songwriting credits on there for lyrics and stuff like that.
Okay.
But those two were exactly the way they are when they came out in 2000. That's how old they are.
Right.
They were in the demo I had done. I love it because I used to say corner twice. And then he says corner with his New Orleans accent. I love it. He's like corner. And that song, he's really aggressive and he screams in that song. And like freaking crazy, man.
Oh, dude, that song it's really a stone cold killer. Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
That possibly is going to be the second lyric video.
Oh, really? Oh, dude, you got my attention. Dig it, man.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make a video or a lyric video for almost every song in the record. And, I have a plan. We'll see how it goes. I can't talk about it too much.
Oh, come on, man up. You can talk about it on Honest Brutality, bro.
Oh, yeah, I know. I don't love that name, man. I love that name. But to be honest with you, brutally, it's going to be, I want to give away, I want to give back. That's my intention. That's why when I'm in the studio and I was doing this, that, nobody's there, man. Nobody knows inside your head. Nobody knows your intent. And my intent is this. I was doing the best that I could so I can give it back. Not so somebody can grab it and go, woo. No. I mean, that's fine and dandy, but I'm not that weak that I'm looking for like acceptance or anything. I'm working to give everyone a gift. Like, here, man, here's something that I worked hard on. That's not to be praised over it, but to say, man, yeah, sharing something with you. And in this case, it happens to be, what can I do? This is what I do for a living. I write songs and play guitar. If I was a carpenter, I'd make chairs for people or something.
If I was a carpenter,
you want to.
And you were a lady. Sorry.
I'll make you a chair. Push you in the head.
There you go, brother. Hey, I got to tell you, Kyle's vocals throughout this entire album are spot on, perfect for your music, man.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. He, I don't even know what to say. I sat in once, and believe it or not, it was on Reality Check.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and he did everything in New Orleans. He did everything in New Orleans without me being here.
Right.
So I look at you, and this is how it happened. I came here and spent 3 days with him. And he took out a pen, paper. We scraped the songs. We went like inch by inch, every little corner of it. We gave them titles. We were like, sing here, don't sing here. We even did things like Alice in Chain harmonies. We're like, how you write down things to just remember what kind of things.
Yeah.
Now, this, that, the goofy part. And we made a roadmap. And then after that, once I was here and I went into the studio with him and he's open. He's just wide open. He's like, any ideas you got, this, that. And I'd done I think I suggested 2 or 3 things.
Mm-hmm. He
embraces them and immediately does them. And it's like you don't even have to ask twice. He nails it on the first take. One was on Reality Check in the middle when the guitars are fluttering. He goes, it's like walking through life with blinders on. And I had done that on the original song, and I whispered one of them. So I had asked him to do that, like blinders on, whisper one, so it sounds kind of creepy. Things like that, man.
Yeah.
And he did it. And he was listening to this record, and I freak out.
Well,
his vocals, I finally heard it on the way to New Orleans last time I came here, which was last week. I'm here every week. I heard it when the CDs came out. We finally got the CDs last week. So on the way here, I put one in. And I listened to it as a listener. It's kind of tough to listen to it as a listener, like you just listening to it of somebody else's music when you wrote it, because you always want to criticize it or think about this, or you always listen to something else.
Right.
I was trying to go like, okay, I've never heard this band before. I'm going to put it in and listen to it. And as a listener, I have to say, what I did for that was I focused on Kyle, because I think that's what I would be doing anyways.
Right.
Like if the song came in, I would pay attention to vocals and see how it went. And man, I would tell you this: it's talking about myself and my band probably, but I'm really proud of it, man. Kyle did a really good job, and like better than good. Just like I'm extreme proud of this record. I'm looking forward to giving this out so people can listen to it, and the 19th, and then after that, getting it on the road.
Oh! I was hoping you would say that because I'm hoping you guys get out to California because
I promise you, we're going to play everywhere that we possibly can.
Okay, well, when you're driving through the middle of the state, you have a place to stay here, brother. We'll hook you up, give you a little barbecue. We'll give you some real barbecue, none of that bullshit Texas stuff you got down there. We'll give you some of the local flair when you come to town, buddy. We'll take care of you.
Look, man. That's an invite. There's no. I love it. There's no way I would deny that. I love barbecue.
We're going to ruin you. We're going to ruin you. You won't go back and eat barbecue anywhere else again. I'm just going to warn you. You'll say, God damn it, I can't eat anywhere else now. Got to go to California and have dinner just for God's sake. Anyway, it'll be a good time.
Speaking of food and stuff like that, when we do premiere everything the 19th, man, I know this is like off topic, but it is still Heaviest Texas in a sense. I like hot sauce.
Okay.
So I've created 3 different hot sauces, and they're coming out.
Awesome.
They'll be out by the release. So I have like your regular, I like Crystal hot sauce, man, in Louisiana. And it's like a Tabasco-y thing.
Yep, I know exactly what it is.
Seeds, and it's a clear type thing. It's kind of like, I like tamales, and it's my favorite. So I went for something like that. That's my red sauce. I have a green sauce because I like green sauce. And they're in skinny little bottles. Then I saw a whiskey-looking flask. And so I decided to go ahead, and I got it now. And that's my habanero. That's that's got some ghost peppers in it, and eat at your own risk.
All right. Okay. Look,
we got the Heaviest Texas picante sauce, and the picante is kind of mild. I will say that.
That's for pussies. We want the good stuff, man.
Yeah, that'll come next. For starters, I had to do that, and so. It's pretty cool. We got we're coming out, the merch that we got that just came in last week. So obviously we're getting all this stuff for tour and getting ready for tour. The merch, I went ahead and spent a couple of extra dollars, man, and got the best quality t-shirts I possibly could get. This stuff that don't shrink and they feel good on your body. I would wear a lot of concert shirts myself, but it's just the quality of them, man. Some of them suck really bad.
Yeah, so, we get that.
From hoodies to hats to beanies to shirts to tank tops to, stickers and label pens and all that stuff. We get it all. Get it all.
I'll tell you what, man. We'll trade you.
Skateboards.
We'll give you
skateboards or weed grinders. That's coming next.
Nice.
I know. It sounds funny.
No, it sounds awesome.
Heaviest Texas skateboards.
Fuck yeah, that's bitching.
Heaviest Texas weed grinders.
I'll tell you what, man. We'll trade you an Honest Brutality Stay Metal T-shirt for one of the Heaviest Texas shirts. How's that?
That would be a pleasure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a fight to get our shirts, just so you know. It's a long fucking line, but for you, you're special. We love you.
I'll sport it proudly.
I dig it, man. So, but when are you guys going on the road, bud?
So we're planning on doing something regional around the release date, probably more reasonably closer to May.
Okay. So you're not looking to get on the West Coast anytime soon?
I can't lie to you and say yes or no because I am every day I'm on the horn with our manager. And she's like, "Relax, dude, relax." I'm like, "I'm not relaxing. Where are the gigs? Where are the gigs? Where are the gigs? And there's a lot of things we have to get in order. We need to get gigs. Nobody knows us. Right. We got to put this album out first. So and sometimes you got to get gigs in a couple of months. Obviously 2-3 months in advance.
Right.
And with us, I actually don't have a product out yet. We really can't do much except our names. Names are really within the region. I mean, obviously I'm from Houston. We're going to have a great show there. And he's from New Orleans. We'll have a great show there. And, Dallas is good to me. And Shreveport's good to me. And Austin and stuff like that. But to take it out elsewhere, we're going to have to wait for the release. And they're going to kind of patiently wait but I know that we are going to go do this, and I know that we're in 2 different bands together. So there's nothing that we can, like, you know, I can't say, like, I wait for you to come back with Exhorder because we're both an Exhorder. I mean, for example, Exhorder is the whole month of September we're out with Cataclysm.
Oh,
the
shit.
The whole month, like in the entire month.
Right.
And from what I hear, rumor has it that we're going straight out in October.
Huh.
After that to Europe. So, you know, these are things that, you know, things in the life of a musician happen.
Yeah. Would you ever?
Like I literally got a text message from Benny. It had like 30 dates on it. And he said, "Hey man, I'm sorry this is last minute. I need to know if you can do this because they know I'm in Heaviest Texas. And also we need to know in the next hour." Can I get some coffee? Jesus Christ. And, you know, and seriously, a yes from me meant we're touring, and a no from me meant we'll have to cancel the tour. And it's like, this is a no-brainer. There's no fucking way I'm going to do that.
Right.
It's not about me.
Yeah.
That's what's beautiful. Even Heaviest Texas, and it's, I think the best part of it now, I'm not relaxing at all one bit about anything. But I think now that for me, in my camp, the focus is not on me. Like, it's not just me thing. I've conducted, you know, put together, assembled a team where there's a lot of moving parts.
Right.
And I don't micromanage to a point where I'm getting on anybody's nerve. What I do is that first and foremost, I step out of my own way and I step out of their way. And I let everything just happen. I let everybody do their job, but I'll be on top of them, you know, kind of like saying this and that. And it seems to work, man. It seems to be working to let people be, let them shine on their own and do their own job. You know, like, for instance, Kyle, as an example, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, I don't even know what to do except learn how to do backflips, man. I don't even know if there's enough hours during the day for me to get on my knees and be thankful for all the things that are happening. But, you know, I am paying attention. And steering the ship, hopefully, in the right direction. You know, the climate of the world and the music scene and everything has changed. But to me, the love has always been there. I go out on tour and I see the crowd. So to me, it's like, I don't know what y'all talking about.
Right.
I'm either dumb, pretentious, or, you know, have a lot of faith in humanity still, and a lot of love for my art and wanting to share it with people.
Right.
And it's relevant, man.
So here's a question for you. I mean, you obviously you enjoy writing these songs. You get a lot of pleasure out of writing your songs, but it sounds to me like the biggest joy is actually being on a stage and sharing that with an audience and seeing the reaction and the just the response overall from the people that are feeling the music as you're playing it. There's no high like that, right?
There is no high like that, sir. There's no high like that. So I always break it down in this way to try to explain kind of like the 3 things in life that I absolutely love and enjoy. One is it's all music, and it's the steps. Because first is like creativity, you know, the inspiration. It could be mostly done by yourself when you're practicing, which means almost like where you're meditating or you're focusing, or it could be with your bandmates in a band space. That's when things are pure and things happen. Like all of a sudden an idea comes, a riff, and you work on it, you work on it, you work on it, you work on it, and you work on it. And then, so that right there, the purity, where something is being born, that means a lot to me.
Right.
It's something else. And then to separate that and go to the next part, none of them above one another either, because it's just it's not almost like a slow, gradual progression. The second part is to take that baby that's born and bloodied and clean it up and then take it to the studio and get a portrait. That's going inside the studio.
Right.
Being in the studio is quite different than when you were in the rehearsal room, because now you've got to put that idea down. You got to draw the picture. You got to put it down, and it's forever. You can be creative, and you can, there's a lot of soul searching involved in both areas. Now comes the third part. There's obviously, difficulties, and roads are always not fun and blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows that. But I'm going to tell you, it depends on who you are, who you play with, and that makes a big difference. To me, that third part right there is like the party. It's the celebration. It's like we get to go and celebrate all the work you've done with the people that you care for, the audience. You go out there and you share it with them. And when you're sharing it together, I don't see myself any different than them. It takes both of us to tango,
Right.
So we share it, and that feeling, man, there is no high than that. And I want to tell you, when you do a extended tour, when you do, when you're out for a month, when you get to a point where you're playing more than just one night here and they get a break and then two, break. When you're playing consistently, you're traveling, to this, to that, nothing matters. It's like your body, your mind, everything fine tunes itself for that day. It's like everything's cool. You're waiting for it to get on stage, and like your fingers are ready. Like everything's ready. You know what I mean? When you get into a mode. So once we get into a mode, like for instance, Exhorder last time when we didn't rehearse. So the first two shows they weren't bad, but the vibe was kind of not like the same as it would be the rest of the tour. The rest of the tour was like, man, I could not wait to get on stage. It was just absolutely amazing. You wake up, you're playing later on. You played last night. You played the night before. Your fingers are ready. Your mind is ready. You don't have to question it.
Right.
You just look forward to it.
Right.
And then looking forward, so it becomes, I've never experienced anything like that before. It's the highest I've ever been in life, as a musician. That's like when you're consistently on the road and you share that with people. European fans on the festival scene are just freaking amazing, man.
That's what we hear, yeah.
We played for hundreds of thousands of people out there. And I want to tell you, I haven't seen, and I'm being serious, this the whole last summer we were touring Europe, and I've been from Moscow all the way to from East Europe to to this side of it. I ain't seen a single fight, man. I don't see fights.
Yeah.
The metal community is so put together. It's just like this giant family. It's like their attire, it's like the shops, it's like a heavy metal flea market. You can walk in there butt-ass naked, and you get all the attire you can get in there, and it's really cool. Everybody's really cool with each other, man.
That's badass.
And I love that.
Yeah,
I loved it, man.
We talk about that a lot. It's just one big extended family.
It is, man.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. It really, truly is.
It's that you've seen the videos where the guys are in the store and they see the other guy's got a metal shirt on. And it's like there's an instant, we're friends just because you're rocking the metal shirts, right? We have something in common. It's totally cool, man.
It is. It's a cool thing, man. It's a cool validation. You got a street credit or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a cool thing.
Where are you from, man? You said that you came over to the States?
Man. I was born in Iran. And my dad was an architect, and he, basically smelled shit going on because, shit's going on over there and still going on. And he wanted to take his family away from there. And his best friend, one that he grew up and went to school with, one was living in Indiana, and the other one was working in Houston in Shell Oil. One of his buddy in Shell Oil, super nerd dude, doesn't know, no common sense, but super smart guy.
Right.
Told my dad to come here with his money, and my dad did. And when he did, my mom immediately, as soon as she came here, she took my little brother and moved back and divorced him. So I was raised a normal ass kid. You know what I mean? Yeah. Normal ass kid. And then just did the normal kid stuff. I did want to be a professional soccer player, so I had my guitar at 7 back there, and I was always obsessed with it. But we came here basically. I was a refugee kid. Right? They came here and then kind of get abandoned on the streets. My dad, the rest of his soul, wasn't a dad. Right. He didn't do dad things. He didn't do dad things when I was younger. We never went out. We never did this. We never bonded. He never taught me anything. He never communicated with me. He just was. He had a bad life. So I guess I'm not talking shit about my dad.
No, it's okay.
But I had a type of childhood where I get my ass beat, and I get verbally abused for fucking nothing. So I grew up with that. I grew up with like, just back of my head being slapped constantly and being punched, like physically being beat up like a man at a young age, man. And then coming to America and then not being used to like the aggression that America has, and then growing up here and then having to deal with all that shit at home and go out on the street and having some kid give me shit. So I was like, let's fight. Right. And that's when that began. That's when that began where, I didn't care if you were like bigger than fucking King Kong. You looked at me funny. I had a bad day with my shitty dad. Guess what, man? I was coming to fight you because you were going home eating cornflakes. You were going home having cable TV. To me, you know what I mean? I know none of this bullshit. That was my mentality back then.
No, I get it.
You come from money. You get toys. You get fucking everything. Why are you fucking with me? Because I got fucking, my hair looks like Darth Vader's helmet. Like, dude, talk about having problems with your fucking physical appearance. Man, I was the ugliest kid growing up. I still am, but I'm just saying. I had so many chips on my shoulders, man. I had so many chips on my, no mom, no dad, kids picking on you. It's like, you know what? Fuck you, man.
You turned out to be a pretty positive fucking guy, though, Marzi.
I had no choice. Because, Rumi says there's a poem in there that says, and I tell my friends this because I'm no different than anybody. All it shows you is that other people out there, you're no different. Then there's suffering goes for everybody, and it teaches me to have compassion. It teaches me to have empathy. And all mountains don't get their shape till they weather some storms. And I've been shaped by weathering storms, but as opposed to being broken ultimately by it, or just being an angry man that's like, he's got it in his heart that like, just wait, they're gonna get you back. Nah, man, I let it go a long time ago. I'm like, man, I'm here to enjoy the party, because that's the fight right there. Losing the battle is letting it get you to a point where it changes your demeanor, where somebody says, hey, how's it going? And you're like so distraught. And I've been there. That you're not even yourself, man. You're in this dark, empty space, and I've been there. I've been there so long that I'm fucking sick of it. And then, meeting Kyle has liberated me to allow this to happen. And me and him were trying to do this since 2009, man.
You just now 10 years later, you did it. 10 years later, brother, you're here.
In 2009, he talked about it. We talked about it. We were right about to go into the studio. And I got called to do another project, and I did that full-heartedly till I got the silent boot from it, which was nothing but a blessing. And that's the only way I would look at that. It's like the biggest blessing that would ever happen in my life was being like kicked out of certain two groups that I've been in the past. That and it's been beautiful, man. And now things happen when they're supposed to happen, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
Not when we want them to. And I'm just totally embracing this, man.
Can I tell you something, Marzi? You have inspired me.
Yes.
I love your story, man. I do. I hate that you had to go through that shit. I really do. I see that. There's similar. I can tell you right now, there's similarities between your story and ours, not to the same degree. I'm not trying to compare that. What I'm getting at is we can relate to some degree. I mean to tell you, man. I feel you. And I'm not trying to say my story is anything I've ever learned is like I'm no different than anybody else. In fact, a lot of people have it a lot of worse than I had or do, So the best thing I could do is be an example. Right.
They'd be like, I've been there too. Look, just do it. And everything passes. It eventually passes. I've even done hard time, dude. I've been locked up before for being violent. But you know what? It did nothing but teach me. Like I came out to be a better person. As opposed to being a better person, I came out a better person.
That's crazy.
I made promises to myself. I know this sounds funny because I wrote a song called "Keep a Promise," but I wrote promises to myself, like in the commissary paper. I did. I really did, and I've been trying to keep those promises still to this day, man.
That's awesome, bro.
Well, you're a badass guy, man, and we really appreciate you taking the time to do this. And I feel like sometimes when we do these shows, we come away with a new friend, and I kind of feel like we made a new friend today.
I would tend to agree.
Absolutely, man. I feel the same. I do these a lot, and some are cold, and some not personable and stuff. I really appreciate this very much, man.
Well, Marty, hey, man, it's been fun having you on today. Is there anything we didn't talk about that we need to?
Man, no, I think we covered everything. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for guys. I'm a talker, man. I mean,
no, what? No,
you pull my string. It's hard to.
Oh, we love it.
I'll tell you what, buddy. I could have sat here. We could go 3 or 4 more hours just talking stories and shit.
And we look forward to having you back so you could talk some more.
Yeah, we're all about it, man. You've been really great guest.
We will do that. I will get you guys the hot sauces. I will get you guys the shirt.
All right. We'll go. Goes both ways, brothers. We'll take care of you on that.
Really looking forward to. Yeah, looking forward to talking to you guys again once this band gets going on the road.
Yeah.
Let's catch up and pick up where we left off, man.
That sounds great. That was pretty goddamn good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's a deep person right there.
Didn't know what to expect. Sometimes you don't know going in, and especially a guy who's got as much experience as he does in the scene. He's another one of those artists that slipped off my radar. Like, I didn't really realize who he was and how influential he was. And how many big named artists he's working with and dealing with, dude. And then you bring him on and he's just like the most real dude in the world.
Actually, I kind of anticipated that just in doing my studying up on him and whatnot. You kind of get the feeling that he's a real dude, and those are my favorite. We have some of those that we bring on the show. Okay, actually, a lot of the people we bring on the show are low. But this one here is kind of that extra special. You really feel that.
Yeah. Super talented,
genuine person.
Not in a classically trained way. Like, he's taught himself and really brought himself up from his bootstraps.
He's fucking amazing as a guitar player. The stuff he's doing is just beyond. I don't even know how to compare it. It's really good. He reminds me a lot of Dimebag. And it's funny he brought up Dime. How they met and whatnot.
Well, and he's got experience working with other members of Pantera and the different things that he's done for, with Phil Anselmo and what have you. So, Marzi Montazeri was our guest. Heavy as Texas, self-titled album, Heavy as Texas, dropping April 19th, 2019. Yep. And I strongly suggest that you check it out. Thank you so much for listening today. We really appreciate you. If it's your first time tuning in, thank you so much. If you're a repeat offender, thank you even more.
You're awesome.
Wherever you're listening, do us a favor, give us a rating and a review. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also check us out at honestbrutality.com. You can give us a call if you'd like.
Yeah, please do. 530-962-0411. Again, that's 530-962-0411. Give us a call. Tell us what you thought of the combo with Marzi. We'd love to hear from you.
Check us out every Saturday on Rock Rage Radio, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We are also on Rock Rage Radio on Tuesday nights with Center Stage.
Yeah, where we take one band, we'll highlight their music, we'll take the conversation, chop it up. You get to hear a little bit of the convo, a little bit of the music, and have a good time. 1 hour, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, Center Stage with Honest Brutality and Rock Rage Radio.
In the meantime, be good, people. Take care of one another, and most importantly,
stay metal!